Soundstripe. 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 Soundstripe.
Good evening and welcome to Ultimate Dirt TV. We ask you to bow your heads and let's pray. We come to you, Father, ahead of the sim race to pray for the drivers, the family, the fans who are watching here tonight to cheer them on. Father, we ask you to remind the drivers that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risk. Nothing. Remind the drivers not to be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big. Dream big. But help us remember, dreams without goals are just dreams. We all go through setbacks, pains, disappointments. Pains is a part of life, and sometimes we look at the pieces in our lives that don't make sense. The key is what we do with our time in pain. Father, please guide each and every one of us And let's have a good time tonight. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming in the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? For the land of the free and the home of the
Good evening and welcome to Ultimate Dirt TV. Tonight it's the Bluegrass Cup Series here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. And going into the point standings, top of the charts is GT Hawkins with John Schwartz in second, Brandon Holder in third, Curtis Preston and Alex Huffman rounds out your top five. And tonight here at North Wilkesboro, 200 laps is distance stage break at lap number 80. As BJ, we start to roll into qualifying.
That's right, we got 29 drivers on the docket here for tonight. First car out on track is going to be the 15 of Matt Grenier. See what kind of a time he can get down here on his first lap. He's on his out lap right now, just building up speed. Driver out of Saco, Maine. Been having a good bit of luck here lately in quite a few different races. He's found his way up towards the front, but not having the luck when it comes to the finish of the race. We'll see what he can pull off here. Just a week ago, we saw him pull off a top 3 finish, running out of fuel, coasting to the line, finished in that third spot. We'll see what he can do. John Kenner's going to go quick time in his number 5 machine. Matt Greener's going to go second quick on his first lap.
And driver out from Lendendrum, South Carolina, it is Jonathan Atkins. Jonathan Atkins in at number 57, World of Thunder Ultimate Dirt TV. The Miller Family Trucking sponsors machine there. He goes third quick on his first lap. His teammate Sean Kostritza goes fourth quick on his opening lap as the 57 gets loose out turn number 4. There's Sean Kostritza for his second lap there from Fond du Lac, Wyoming. He moves up to third quick in that 46 machine. Next on track, car number 88 from London, Kentucky. It's Nick Mills. Nick Mills into 88. We'll see how he does on his time lap here. Oh, he's going to lose it on the front straightaway.
Well, unfortunate for him, he'll get a reset and get one more lap. And Mike Peters out of Houston, Texas, in the number 96. Beautiful looking new ride for him. He's actually messaged me just a little while right before qualifying started, right before we went live, asked me to make sure that the black paint was showing up. And it sure enough is, and it is a beautiful car. He's going to actually not put in a time, bring it to a halt. He'll take it back to the pits. But out on track right now in the 49 out of Pasadena, Maryland is going to be Chuck Blake. In our top 5 as it stands right now is going to be John Kinder, Matt Grenier, Sean Stritza, Jonathan Atkins, and Alex Healy.
Chuck Blake making a couple extra laps around the racing surface here. Try to get used to this track. Let's look at the weather of the track temp. Right now, the track temp is 124 degrees. That track is hot with an air temperature of 84 degrees. Winds blowing at 7 miles an hour. So that's going to make it for some slippery conditions here on the racing surface for these drivers. Next, coming out in track, he has 1 win on the season. I believe he has 1 win, or he might not even have.
I'll look at that
Yeah.
right now.
And number 14, he is your points leader coming in tonight is GT Hawkins from Columbus, Ohio. GT Hawkins in that number 14 machine.
He does, in fact, have 1 win on the season. Looking to carry on that momentum he's been carrying throughout the whole season. Having great runs so far. All the way up to the wall. It's different line than we've seen anybody run here. First lap coming in is going to put him at 9th quick. Slowest on the charts so far. We'll see what he can do. Jonathan Swartz out of Vienna, Virginia in the number 95. Driver of the iRacing 95 Chevy Camaro Z01 and VRX World Competitor. So he's got a lot of stats going for him. He's driver for iRacing itself, actually. On the iRacing official team, he will go 2nd quick on his qualifying run.
Right up the street. Well, not really right up the street from me, but from Memphis Springs, Arkansas, it's Brendan Holder. Brendan Holder in car number 9. Out on the racing surface, David Farmer goes 7th quick. Your top 5 looking like this: John Kinder, Jonathan Swartz, Matt Grenier, Sean Stritza, and Jonathan Atkins. Your top 5 in the speed charts. Brendan Holder goes 6th quick on his first time at number 9 to BK Paints and Designs machine. Let's see if he can improve on a 2nd lap. He does. He moves to 5th. Jonathan Atkins falls to 6th. On the racing surface right now, and car number 1 from Leonardtown, it is Scott Fritz. Scott Fritz in the number 1. Fritz been having some tough luck coming home with a podium finish last night, 3rd in the Xfinity Series. First lap for Fritz was 11th quick. Brandon Robertson goes 9th quick on his first time lap in number 3 machine. Let's see if Bruce Scott Fritz does move to 4th quick. Next on the track is Brandon Robertson from Epping, New Hampshire there. The 22 Bluegrass Xfinity Series champion. 10th quick on the board. This driver has 1 win on the season from Oakwood, Georgia. It's RS Centers. RS Centers in car number 22. Takes the green flag there. Sharp looking ride for that 22 machine.
And normally running a black Ghost Energy car, but I quite like this new paint scheme he's got going on right there. Fernley, Nevada driver of the number 72, Tony Iverson, out on track right now. We'll see what he can do. Keith Hackney, in the meantime, is going to go quick time with 18.64, nearly 2 tenths, over a tenth rather, over 2nd place John Kinder. Very, very fast time for him. Tony Iverson is going to go 15th quick on his first lap. Dustin Reinsettle 13th quick on his first. We'll see what these guys can put down. RS Center does not get a time in on his first lap. We'll see if he can do better on the 2nd. Tony Iverson loose across the line. I do not believe that is going to count, and it does not. He will hold that 15th spot.
Next on the racing surface, car number 24. From Riverside, California, is Michael Robinson. Michael Robinson in the 24 machine down the back straightaway. For his 2nd time lap, he's currently 7th on the speed chart. Coming out turn number 4. Let's see if he can improve on his 2nd lap. He does. He moves to 6th. Next driver on the racing surface, car number 7 from Henderson, Kentucky, is Justin Winters. Justin Winters in car number 7.
Meanwhile, while this is going on, RS Centers made his way into second position on the speed charts. He is virtually identical lap times as Keith Hackney, only about 1/1000th of a second difference between those two. So very, very close competitors, very, very fast drivers out there. Justin Winters, 15th quick on his first. His second lap is going to be good enough for. He will stay 15th quick. Blake Hensley in the 31 found himself in that 9th spot.
The mouth from the east. It's Mikey Neal Jr. from Wake Forest, North Carolina. The big mouth of the east in that number 8 machine to Huffman Designs. Car number 8. Currently 18th on his first lap. As he heads into turn number 3 there. Looks like he might have made a little contact with the outside wall. Out of turn number 4. Down the straightaway. Let's see if he improves. He does. He moves to 15th quick. Blake Hensley making a couple extra laps from Monroe, Kentucky on the racing surface. Trying to get that car dialed in. Remember, this is fixed setup. So, I mean, they have what they have to work on and try to figure something out. As we got around about a minute and 19 seconds left.
I'm trying to think. The only adjustments I believe that these guys are able to make on these cars here for a fixed setup race would be just your steering offset and your steering pinion and your brake bias. I believe those are the only options available to you on the fixed setup. So everybody on a virtually identical setup, identical playing field, nobody's going to have any advantage over anybody else. It's all the same. The only difference is trying to get the steering to where it is comfortable for you. That's about all they really have to work with.
Definitely 30 seconds ago, your top 5 looked like this. Keith Hackney, RS Centers, John Kinder, Jonathan Schwartz, and Matt Grenier, your top 5 here in qualifying here tonight. 22 drivers would qualify in. Your 22nd driver is GT Hawkins. He's your points leader coming in tonight. He will roll off 22nd. You got Jason Bridges, Bobby Hall Jr., Mike Peters, Nick Mills, James Silvers, Barrett Morton, Travis Twitty, Ed Nick. Warnick will not make a time as qualifying is over. And here's tonight's starting grid and on the pole from the Cornerstone Motorsports. Car number 69 is Keith Hackney to his outside. The RSR Esports. Car number 22, RS Centers.
Row number 2 to the inside from Kinder Performance is the 5 of John Kinder, lined up to his outside from Team Hyprix, and I'm not sure what the rest of that is. Sim Racers Hub, something possibly. I'm not entirely sure. It's the 95 of Jonathan Swartz. I'm going to have to ask him on
Row
that.
number 3 to the inside of the YNH Motorsports. Car number 15, Matt Grenier to his outside. The Empire Motorsports. Car number 24, Michael Robinson.
Row number 4 to the inside, CFM Esports number 1, Scott Fritz, lined up to his outside. World Thunder Esports driver, number 46, Sean Kastritza.
Row number 5 to the inside, the Weaponized Motorsports. Car number 31, Blake Hensley to his outside. Team Syndicate, car number 9, Brendan Holder.
Row number 6 to the inside, Shock Eye Performance, number 57 for World of Thunder Esports. It's going to be Jonathan Atkins, lined up to his outside. In the Flex Motorsports, YNH Motorsports, number 97, Alex Healy.
And row number 7 to the inside, he hails out United States. Car number 84 is David Farmer to his outside. Another YNH Motorsports. Car number 3, Brendan Robertson.
Row number 8 to the inside, Team Syndicate number 8, Mikey Neal Jr. lined up to his outside. In Elite Motorsports number 7, Justin Winters.
Row number 9 in turn 1 racing. Car number 18, Dustin Runstidle. And to his outside, rolling off 18th tonight, the Ron Morris Racing WJM Motorsports. Car number 76, Ron Morris Jr.
Row number 10 to the inside is going to be the 49 of Chuck Blake, lined up to his outside is Team Syndicate number 13, Brian Terry.
And row number 11 to the inside, the hot side host Motorsports. Car number 72, Tony Iverson to his outside. He's your current points leader coming ninth. Cornerstone Motorsports. Car number 14, GT Hawkins.
Row number 12 to the inside, He hails out of Canada. It's the 58 of Nick Dornick. And to his outside, the weaponized Motorsports number 88, Nick Mills.
And row number 13 to the inside. It'd be Mike Peters in an awesome shot racing car number 96 and to his outside. And a Cornerstone Motorsports car number 17, James Silvers.
Row number 14 to the inside, high side hustlers number 34, Jason Bridges. Lining up beside of him, it's going to be the Flex Up Motorsports number 94, Bobby Hall Jr.
And your last row will be Travis Twitty in a high side hustler Motorsports car number 29. And to his outside in the JC Motorsports car number 6, Barrett Morton. These are your stars and cars for the Cup Series of the Bluegrass. As lights do go out, we'll let them loose out of turn number 4. As the drivers are racked and stacked, the stage will end on lap number 80. Keith Hackney and RS Centers laying down identical lap times for that front row. Then you got John Kinder and Jonathan Swartz, a pair of Johns on row number 2. Nick Leonard bring the pace car down. We're racing out of turn number 4. Green flag is in the air. Keith Hackney and RS Centers leads them into turn number 1. Centers on outside. Hackney pushes us a tad bit. They're side by side out of turn number 2. Down the back straightaway. A drag race as they go in turn number 3. Inching ahead in turn number 3 is that 22 of RS Centers. Hackney on the inside as they head out turn number 4. Leading lap number 1 will be RS Centers.
Everybody single filing out. Looks like for about the top 8 positions. Falling on back, we have a battle going on for, looks like that 7th and 8th position actually between Michael Robinson and Blake Hensley, I believe it was. Looking at the scoring, no, it is not. Actually, it's 2 teammates, Jonathan Kostritza and Jonathan Atkins and Sean Kostritza battling side by side.
As these drivers battle side by side, the 31 of Blake Hensley and Michael Robinson in that 24 machine is still side by side. Hensley will clear him out of turn number 4 down the front straightaway. A little further back, there's Alex Healy in that 97 machine, currently running at that 12th spot. Brandon Robertson in 13th in that number 3. And you have David Farmer, Mikey Dill Jr. currently still in that 5th position. And there is Justin Winters currently running at that 16th spot. Ron Morse Jr. and GT Hawkins. GT Hawkins up 4 spots at the start of the race. And he's currently running to 18th. Dustin Renstedel in 19th. And Chuck Blake rounding out your top 20. Meanwhile, back up front is RS Centers lead the way. Out of turn number 4, we come to complete lap number 5 of this 200 lap affair. RS Centers has 1 win on the season in that 22 machine. Keith Hackney in that 69 machine has a win to his credit. And there's John Kinder having a good run so far in the early stages here at North Wilkesboro with the Bluegrass Cup Series live on Ultimate Dirt TV.
Everybody's staying nice and calm here early on in this race. I definitely got to say, I think that's a smart call. But one driver that does not want to remain calm here early on is Jonathan Atkins. He wants those positions. He wants to move forward. He right now is sitting at 4 spots to the good. If he completes this pass on Blake Hensley, he just went the fastest lap of the race out of everybody that last time by with an 18.87. About a 10th faster than Jonathan Swartz with the 2nd fastest time in that 4th spot. So Atkins is ready to rock and roll. He is moving his way through this field and looking for a race win again here tonight.
RS Centers pulling away from Keith Hackney as they head into turn number 3 as we're about a 5-car length advantage over Keith Hackney in that 2nd spot. John Kinder in 3rd, doing a good job. And then you got Jonathan Swartz. He's hanging back. We're about 4-car lengths behind John Kinder. And then you have Matt Grittier rounding out your top 5 here. Travis Twitty, looking at him, that number 29 machine currently running in 28th position, just hanging out in the back. Going to keep that car, try to keep that car nice and clean for the result at the end. Also, Bobby Hall Jr. and Earl Schott, car number 94, currently running at 26. There's Jason Bridges in the 34 machine, and Tony Iverson currently running 24th there as Jason Bridges looks to the outside momentarily. Right ahead of him is Barrett Morton in that number 6 machine as they head into turn number 3. Mike Peters in the 96. He has one win to his credit this season. And there's James Silvers in that 17 machine.
Yeah. RS Centers just continues to pull away nearly a second over Keith Hackney. Now, a little surprised to see this. Keith Hackney is usually very, very quick, especially early on in the race. Really would have expected him to be up to the back bumper of RS Centers. Right now, looking on board with the 5 of John Kinder, and he's actually all over the back bumper of Keith Hackney. The last time by, they were nearly identical lap times, both with 19.12. This time, John Kinder over a 10th faster than Keith Hackney. Hackney seems to be struggling just a little bit here early in this race, which is surprising given how fast he was in qualifying.
Definitely is. Right now, you look at the one that Scott Fritz and Jonathan Atkins. Atkinson and Scott Fritz battling and give it to Jonathan Atkins. That 6th spot. He's up 5 spots in the start of the race. Fritz is in that 7th spot. He's under attack now from Blake Hensley. Blake Hensley in that 31 machine. And there's Brandon Holder in the number 9, currently running 9, with Michael Robinson in that 24, currently running in the top 10. Sean Kostritz is just outside the top 10 in that 11th position, with Brandon Robertson, David Farmer, Justin Winters in 14th, and Mikey Neal Jr. rounds out your top 5 in car number 8.
And some driver in the field just got disqualified. I'm not entirely sure who that was. I'm trying to look, see if I can take a quick look here and relay that information. Alex Healy got DQ'd. Other drivers vouching for him, saying that it's not entirely correct for him to get a DQ. There's some issue going on with incident points.
Well,
quite interesting.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Jonathan Atkins in 6th. But you know what? RS Centers is leading. He's starting to gap Keith Hackney pretty far out there as John Kinder's in attacking performance there. He's stalking his prey as they come out turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Jonathan Kinder, he will enter a little higher in turn number 3. He will close the gap on Keith Hackney's at exit turn number 4. 20 laps in the books as we have 60 to go. 60 laps to go. Alex Healy making his way back onto the racing surface in that car number 97. But meanwhile, Jonathan Swartz sitting in that 4th spot. He's now actually starting to close in on Jonathan Kinder as Keith Hackney looks like he's starting to hold up Kinder there. That's allowing Jonathan Swartz to close in. And they better watch out because here comes Jonathan Atkins and Matt Grenier. They're slowly inching their way forward through the racing field. Right now, Brandon Holder and Scott Fritz. Holder looks to the inside momentarily on that number 1. That's the battle going on for 7th and 8th on the board. Brandon Holder doing a good job in the BK Designs car number 9. Blake Hensley at that 31 machine, currently running in 9th. There's Michael Robinson. And pretty much the field is single filed. The 18, that is, let's see who's the 18. Well,
18's Dustin Reinstedel. Appears to have had some problems there. Chuck Blake heading down pit road. It's looking as though everybody's under extreme scrutiny right now from iRacing, to be exact. They're getting a pass-through penalty for a single incident point and then having to go down pit road and come back out. So really causing some issues for several people. And the race stewards are currently trying to figure out what the best course of action is.
Well, there really is a best course of action. Just play it out. And the only thing they really could do right now is caution will fly on the racing surface. And I'm not really sure who's that for.
Well, the caution was thrown for scoring from drivers that have been disqualified or forced to go down pit road due to a black flag that was not being cleared. So while race stewards are trying to figure things out and get everybody back on the lead lap and possibly back in the positions that they should be in prior to having those penalties.
Well, Keith Hackney will be making his way down pit road in that 69K machine, getting some service to that machine. Well, and what it is, there is a setting on iRacing, and it's the X system scrutiny, I guess, if you make, especially in qualifying. So I guess you can do it in, I don't do much setups on on the asphalt side of things for a race, but there is a section you can click, and if you have instant point, you do have to come down pit road and serve a penalty. And iRacing has done that to help clean up racing, but most of the leagues do not use that. And I'm wondering if one of the settings like that got clicked tonight when they set up the racing lobby.
Well, they do have the ability, and they've been using it here all season long. If you get so many instant points, you have to drive down pit road, and you can set exactly how many instance you want that set for. Typically they have it set, I believe, at around 12 or 16, and for some reason tonight it is set at 1. So anytime anybody touches the wall or another driver or touches the grass and gets an off-track 1X, they're now being penalized with a drive-through penalty, and then when they reach the 17X incident point, they get disqualified from the race. But if the drivers do not come down pit road to serve the penalty, they will get disqualified without getting any more instances. And several drivers are disconnecting from the server, and we're going to have to figure out exactly what is going on or what the plan is. More likely going to be having a server reset.
All right, with that being said, we'll be right back with these commercials.
My name is Steven Corpenos. I'm a senior web developer here at iRacing, and I work on the beta UI. It's funny because iRacing has been around for 10 years, but we want to keep delivering the best possible user experience to our customers, and we've found that the old UI isn't exactly what we're trying to deliver in 2018. We want to use new features and provide the best possible experience when using the sim. One of the projects that I've been working on is some custom heat racing configuration for hosted races. We've been listening to our customers. Everyone's been asking for custom heat races. Maybe you want to tweak a few things with the preset iRacing configurations. Well, now you can using the beta UI. So once you're at the home page of the beta UI, you just go to create a race. Then from there you go to your set race options. And you'll notice here under event types, you can actually choose heat racing. First, I'm going to show you how to create a new format from scratch. You can choose the number of entrants. And as you can see, when I made that change, the change was actually reflected on the right side in the graph. Also, you can use the estimated duration at the bottom of the graph when you're changing the length to see what the total duration of your event will be. In addition, you can customize every aspect of the session information, practice, qualifying, heat races, consolations, and of course, the final feature race. Because the beta UI allows us to develop features that are robust and complex, this feature will be exclusively available on the beta UI. Once you've made all of the changes, you can hit save. Say you forgot what you selected. You can always preview it using the preview format button. We are very excited to release the brand new heat racing configuration feature that will be available in Season 3 of iRacing.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
done this before. Well, darling, can't you see what you done to me? And I ain't gonna hide the way I feel no more. So let's roll all night. We gonna roll until the morning light. Let's roll.
Welcome back to Ultimate Dirt TV. They think they got it all figured out. We're going to see, as we got right about 3 seconds left of practice, we'll go into racing here. Now the race length will be 75 laps. A lot of racing still to come here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Well, let's just see. There we go.
Here's play a little trick on you too there, Steve.
Yeah.
Mine won't let me back in.
Well, you gotta go hit the car and change the driver, and it should let you back in.
I kicked me clear out of the server.
So, BJ, explain what they're gonna do as they're starting to line up here.
Alright, so the drivers, they have this grid fully reset to the very beginning of the race. So everybody that got their black flags got disqualified, had to restart the grid and everything, or had to get their disqualifications cleared and get back on track. They lost all those laps. Well, now they've got all of them back. They shortened the length for us to allow us to be able to get this in a timely manner, I guess is the best way to say it, since we were already over 20 laps into the race. They dropped it down right about 25. Well, actually, they dropped it down 25 laps to accommodate that. Several drivers were unfortunately upset about the full grid reset, but sometimes that's just the way things roll. So these guys are going to get their pace laps in right here and get set to go back green. And fortunately for a lot of these drivers, it's going to be a much faster track. A lot faster lap times were put down in practice than what we saw in even in qualifying in the last lobby. So looking forward to seeing a lot of fast racing out here.
Well, lights are out. We're fixing to let it loose out of turn number 4. Remember, stage break was a lap 80. You subtract 25 from lap 80, and you got 55 laps until the stage break. The drivers are racked and stacked. We're fixing go back racing here with the Bluegrass Cup Series. They had some technical difficulties, and we're back to racing out of turn number 4. Pace car looking to pull in. Keith Hackney leading the way out of turn number 4. Green flag is out. We're back to racing here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. RS Center's a dead heat going into turn number 1. He will take the lead in turns 1 and 2. Hackney right there in second. Here comes John Kinder. Battling Jonathan Schwartz. That's a battle for thirds. They head into turn number 3.
Yeah, side by side, the outside line looking like it might have worked for Schwartz, but it's not going to. John Kinder got the run off the corner, so he's now going to fall in line. Meanwhile, back behind them, Scott, caution coming out on the speedway in turn number 1. 3-car pileup. Looks like Blake Hensley involved. Not sure who else that is in the mix of that one right there, but caution plaguing the restart of this race early on here.
Blake Hensley gets loose on the straightaway, comes across the nose of the 46 of Sean Kostritza, and that's going to put a damper on Sean Kostritza's night, as he will have to go tailback with Brandon Robertson and Blake Hensley. But Blake Hensley getting loose out of turn number 4. That was your NLRA instant replay. Caution coming out early after this restart.
Yeah, so I guess you might say caution number 2 of the night in a sense. First one being, we'll just call it a red flag rain delay. And it's our first actual caution of the night, starting with Blake Hensley there. Several of these drivers that had moved up several positions in the last lobby going to be looking to try to regain everything that they possibly can.
Drivers down pit road is Sean Stritza, Jason Bridges, Blake Hensley, and Brandon Robertson.
While Steve clears his third, our top five still sits our center Keith Hackney, John Kinner, Jonathan Swartz, and Matt Grenier. So far, Scott Fritz up one position. Jonathan Atkins already back up 3 spots within the first 20 laps of the previous server. He was up 5 spots and looking for a top 5 position right now. He looks to try to find his way back up there. And cool, I can actually see fuel data.
All right, the drivers are racked and stacked. We're fixing to go back racing. RS Centers will lead the way out of turn number 4. He will choose outside for the restart. Keith Hackney on the inside. The pace car pulling into the infield. We're back to racing out turn number 4. Low contact between Hackney and Centers there on the start. As they head into turn number 1, Centers will clear Hackney. Here comes Jonathan Swartz to the outside of Keith Hackney. Side by side. Oh, Hackney loose. Hackney around. We got another caution on the back straightaway. Keith Hackney backwards. So is Jonathan Swartz. They're dancing. Not technically, but...
Yeah. There were some jokes made that, ooh, look at Keith Hackney tried to dive underneath our centers and around he went. But there were jokes made, and it looks like those jokes are coming true. The jokes were that they had such a good run in the first lobby that we're going to lose it in this one here. So far, that does seem to be plaguing this one. And doing so very, very quickly as caution out again here tonight.
As we're on lap number 10, it's RS Centers, your race leader, John Kinder, Scott Fritz, Matt Grenier, Jonathan Atkins, your top 5. Atkins up 6 positions. Then you got Michael Robinson. He started 6, currently running 6. David Farmer up 6 spots, currently running in 7th at an 84 machine. Brandon Holder currently in 8th, up 2 spots. Mikey Neal Jr., the mouth of the East, in car number 8, currently running in 9th, up 6 spots. Then you have Alex Healy rounding out your top 10 here tonight. Into Bluegrass with 11 laps in the books. The car number 7, just winners, currently running in 11th spot, up 5 spots to start of the race. Then you got Ron Morris Jr. The Ron Morris Racing car number 76, currently in 12th, up 12 spots. Then Chuck Blake into 49, into 13th spot, up 6 spots. So you got Tony Iverson in 14th, up 7 spots in that 72 machine. And your points leader coming into tonight with 1 win to his credit is GT Hawkins, up 7 spots in the car number 14. Rounding out your top 15 here at North Wilkesboro Speedway as we are under caution. You're watching the Bluegrass Cup Series, the stars and the cars.
I'm just sitting here taking a look at some fuel data for these guys. And it's looking like it's going to be a one-stop race on fuel. So more than likely only going to have to make that pit stop on the stage break. But I suspect a lot of these guys are going to be looking at keeping tires underneath of them. It's going to be a big part of this race. This track's very difficult to conserve your tires. Very hard on the tires, scrubs them an extreme amount. And just going to see if I can't get info on when they're planning to do the stage break now. It was originally scheduled for lap number 80.
And it should have been 55 when we complete lap number 55. The stage break should happen, but we'll see. As the drivers are back, racked and stacked this time, RS Centers will choose the outside line again. But into his inside this time will be John Kinder in that number 5 machine. Matt Grenier and Scott Fritz in row number 2. They got Michael Robinson, Jonathan Atkins in row number 3. The pace car looking to pull off out of turn number number 4 into the pit area. And the field's in the hands of RS Center, so he fires out on turn number 4. We're back to racing here at North Wilkesboro. You're watching the Bluegrass Cup Series. RS Center starting to pull away as they head into turn number 1. There's Jonathan Kinder in that second spot, and Scott Fritz now with a top 3. He had a top 3 last night in the Xfinity Series as they head into turn number 3. Jonathan Atkins now up 7 spots. He's all over the tail tank of Scott Fritz. Atkins up 7 spots. There's Matt Grenier to 15, currently running in 5th, started 5th. So he's keeping it. Oh, to battle for second. Scott Fritz in the 1. And John Kinder. Fritz on the outside. Kinder to the inside. So head out turn number 4. Down the front straightaway.
Fritz looking really strong on that outside. We've been seeing it all week long. That outside line really carrying a lot of momentum for the passes. Right now, Fritz giving it everything he's got. And the inside line is going to prevail here through turns number 3 and 4. John Kinder's going to move safely into that second position. But still at his quarter is the one of Scott Fritz. Now fully clear to fall back in, or fall into line. Now Jonathan Atkins taking a look to the inside of Fritz for that 3rd spot.
The inside line, BJ, like you said, is working right now as Jonathan Atkins is trying everything he can. He wants to get in the top end of the podium finish at the end of the night. So it's not a matter of where he's running right now. It's about where he ends up at the end of the night in that number 57. He has 1 win to his credit this season in that number 57 machine, and he does take over that 3rd spot as Scott Fritz now falls back to 4th position. Matt Grenier still in that 5th spot. Then you have Brendan Holder and David Farmer. Holder around Farmer out of turn number 2, down the back straightaway. Mikey Neal Jeter still hanging there in 8th position there. And there's Justin Winters. He's cracked the top 10, currently in 9th with GT Hawkins battling, getting around Michael Robinson. That is for 10th. Robinson goes wide. That's also going to allow Alex Healy to take over that 11th spot there. Meanwhile, up front, it's RS Center's race leader John Kinder in second with heavy pressure from Jonathan Atkins in that number 57 machine. As 20 laps are in the bucks, as we're on lap number 21. The 57 goes a little wide there. The one thought about looking underneath, could not do it. As they head down the back straightaway into turn number 3. RS Centers this time not really pulling away as we saw in the first part of the race before it got redone in that number 22. So Kinder hanging right there with him. But, Atkins, he's searching around this track. And now he looks to the inside of the number 5 as they head into turn number 3. Side by side, a race battle going on for second place. And out of turn number 4 and at the line, give it to Jonathan Atkins in that number 57.
Yeah, what a bomb Atkins took to dive to that inside. Kinder doing a great job battling back virtually even down the back straightaway. Atkins with a little bit of a run into turn number 3. Out of turn number 4, Atkins is going to have that position secure, but not for long. Here comes Kinder right back. Look at that momentum around coming off the corners around the outside for the 5 of John Kinder. That number 5 is dialed in. The tires are getting warmed up. He's getting a lot of grip on that outside, and he is fighting back hard. Meanwhile, RS Center, there goes Jonathan Atkins completely clear, but RS Center up ahead was not pulling away while these guys were battling. It just goes to show how fast both of these lines are and how fast this track is right now. Looking a little further back, you see that 9. That's Brandon Holder closing in little by little on Scott Fritz. Fritz seems to be a little bit off pace from earlier on in this race as he's starting to lose some positions. There you see the battle between the 7 of Justin Winters and the 8 of Mikey Neal Jr. along with the 14 of GT Hawkins.
Oh, a little
Winters in the wall. Yeah.
A little bit of contact there in the wall. Winters will fall back to that 10th spot. Mikey Neal Jeter moves up to the 8th spot. He's up 17 spots. But how about GT Hawkins up 13 in that 9th spot right now? Alex Healy currently running in 11th in the 97 with Michael Robinson in 12th in the number 24. Then you have James Silvers in 13th. Tony Iverson in 14th. And Sean Kostritz made his way back up in the top 15 in that number 46. Meanwhile, Jonathan Atkins is second, trying to chase down your race leader, RS Centers. Centers has about a 3-card length advantage over Jonathan Atkins, and John Kinder now actually losing ground from the top 2.
And Kinder pushed that car hard on the outside. It's going to lean that car over quite a bit with the momentum and speed that he was carrying around the outside and put a lot of pressure on that right rear or right front. I can't remember which. I want to say it's the right rear when you're running the higher lines. And that's definitely going to put a damper on his run as Brandon Holder very quickly starting to close the gap on him. Meanwhile, speaking of closing the gap, Matt Grenier is closing in on Scott Fritz as well, with a battle between the 84 of David Farmer and the 8 of Mikey Neal Jr. right behind him.
Mikey Neal Jr. putting heavy pressure under David Farmer. They're side by side as they come out turn number 2. Give it to Mikey Neal Jr. for that 7th spot. David Farmer will fall back to 8th. Now look at GT Hawkins looking to the inside of David Farmer as they head out turn number 4. 31 laps in the Bucks here at North Wilkesboro. You're watching the stars of the cars of the Bluegrass Cup Series here live on Ultimate Dirt TV. Justin Winters still in that 10th spot there, watching GT Hawkins and David Farmer battle side by side. Hawkins now clears Farmer. Now, we talked about Atkins starting to pull away from Kinder, but now Kinder's starting to close back in the gap here as they head into turn number 3. John Kinder in that number 5 machine. He started 3rd, currently running 3rd. There's Brandon Holder. Holder up 6 spots, currently running in 4th. And at number 9, BK Paints doing a good job here tonight in North Wilkesboro. And Scott Fritz in 5th, and that's 0-1. He finished 3rd last night in a dramatic finish. But Jonathan Atkins is actually, let's look at the time intervals. Atkins was slower this past lap, but who is quicker on lap number 33?
It off and on between these two drivers, and I get the feeling they're gonna play nice. They are somewhat teammates here. They're running together under the World of Thunder Esports flag here tonight. I suspect to see them play nice with each other. I expect Atkins to just kind of relax behind John Kinder. Behind RS Centers until possibly the end of the stage. The stage break is, by the way, did get it confirmed, it is still on lap number 80. They do plan to run the same break as what they had before, just make a shorter second stage. So that gap now starting to close once again between RS Centers and Jonathan Atkins. Ooh, and swinging up way wide is Jonathan Atkins. I wonder if he's trying some different lines, trying to save his tires differently, or what the thought is right there. But he swung way up high. And Brandon Holder still putting heavy pressure on John Kinder for that 3rd spot. Scott Fritz starting to close the gap back in once again.
Justin Winter still sees David Farmer and Matt Grenier battling. Farmer now has the 8th spot. Grenier in that 9th position. Alex Ely still running in 11th with a 24 of Michael Robinson right there behind him. And then there's a 95. That is Jonathan Swartz. He's a lap down. James Silverson at 17, currently running at 13th position. Sean Christensen 14th. Mike Peters with 1 win on the season, number 96. Currently running in 15th. Tony Iverson in 16th and 72. Jason Bridges in 17th. Nick Mills at 18th. 19th is Barrett Morton, up 9 spots at number 6. And there's Ron Morris Jr. rounding out your top 20. Travis Twitty having a good run right now, up 6 spots in that 21st position, that car number 29. The Cookies Machine, Travis Twitty. Meanwhile, RS Centers is your race leader in at number 22 with Jonathan Atkins. Now they have started to pull away from John Kinder once again. Kinder in that number 5 machine. Currently running 3rd. Brandon Holder in 4th. 42 laps in the books here.
Yeah, even though they are pulling away from John Kinder, Kinder is pulling away from Brandon Holder. Now the top, looks like about top 10 all spread out from 1st place to 10th place is quickly growing to 6 seconds. Everybody giving each other room. Laps winding down very, very quickly as 43 laps are in the books here on lap number 44 now. And Steve, this is going nice and smoothly. I expect this to run straight into the stage break at this point. The way everybody's getting spread out, giving each other room, the only thing I see happening is possibly lap traffic coming into play. But as I say that, the 7 of Justin Winters having a decent run for himself, up 6 spots inside the top 10, was closing ground on the 15 of Matt Grenier.
Grenier in the 15, currently running in at 9th position. And I will tell you this, BJ, if the broadcast gets blown away, we're under tornado watch, so just a FYI, so if you see a pause in the broadcast, you'll know what happens. We're getting a twister. How about that?
Well, perhaps I probably ought to do this then.
But hallelujah,
I'm going to,
we're on lap number 47, closing in onto the stage break as the 18 of Dustin Renstittle goes a lap down here. As Renstittle on the outside, there's Jonathan Atkins. He will clear up. Right ahead is the 49 as Chuck Blake and Brian Terry. They're, your Renstittle, you definitely don't want them to go a lap down, but that's fixing to happen. Yes, indeed. The 22 goes to the inside. He's going to put Chuck Blake a lap down. Here comes Jonathan Atkins, and now here is the 5 of John Kinder. This is an opportunity to close in if he's going to make something happen to get more stage points. The 13 of Brian Terry now goes a lap down. Here comes the 57, Jonathan Atkins. He clears him too. And there's that 49 now getting around. That's Chuck Blake getting around Brian Terry. Chuck Blake in that 22nd spot. So 21 drivers on the lead lap here at North Wilkesboro, as RS Sitters leads the way on lap number 51. Down the back straightaway, here is Jonathan Atkins and John Kinder. And how about GT Hawkins, up 18 spots, currently running in that 4th position. Brendan Holder drops back to 5th here, as we're on lap number 52.
And laps are running down very, very quickly. And I'm just taking a quick look at Travis Twitty's fuel estimated laps. He still has 42. So these guys are completely and totally safe to make it to the stage break without a second thought. Stage being lap number 80. Yeah, they should have enough, especially if they save just a little bit. They should have more than enough to make it to the end of the race. So this does look as though it's going to be a one-stop race, which is going to be music to RS Center and Jonathan Atkins' ears. All these guys have to do is relax up in front. Don't make any mistakes. Make sure that they save just a little bit of fuel in the second stage to stay safe, and don't make any mistakes on pit road here on the stage break coming up in right about 26 laps when Centers hits the stripe right here.
Well, the white flag, right, DJ, is right now, or they're going to lap 80?
They are going to lap 80. It was confirmed, and the caution flag is going to wave, though. Looks like it's going to be flying for Scott Fritz, driver of the number 1 involved in this one. Ooh. 3 wide off of turn 4, contact to the inside. Looked like it might have been a little bit more contact to hook him once again by an innocent bystander. I think that might have been the 84 of David Farmer that clipped him there. I'm not 100% sure. Clipped him in the aftermath of the initial contact. Drivers now looking to come down pit road. Now, they do have, this could be a one-stop race, but they do have 4 total sets of tires. That is 1 on the car, if I'm not mistaken, 1 on the car and 4. No, actually, they have 4 sets in the pits. All right, so 5 total sets of tires. So you might as well take the opportunity, get the fresh tires when you've got in situations like this, and take the extra speed, the extra grip when you can. Our Centers is going to lead the field off of pit road, followed by Jonathan Atkins. The top 2 that came in, come out of pit road. That's the top 2 off pit road. Now Mikey Neal Jr., David Farmer, James Silvers, Alex Healy, Mike Peters, Tony Iverson did stay out. And as I say that, Mike Peters is going to bring his number 96 down pit road. I suspect to see these fresh tires play huge dividends here for this race. Mikey Neal Jr., David Farmer, James Silvers, Alex Healy, and Tony Iverson all on 56 lap tires right now. Everybody else behind them, with the exception of Brian Terry, who stayed out to get the free pass and did not manage to do so. Although it is showing him on the lead lap. He must have been a lucky dog that got sent around. So now he will fall back to the tail end of the longest line. But he's the only other driver that did not go down pit road. Lights are out. Mikey Neal Jr. going to choose the inside on this restart. I'm a little surprised to see this decision. Alrighty then. I believe Steve is playing with buttons.
We're back to green flag racing here at North Wilkesboro. Mikey Neal Jr. kind of pushes up there. There's the battle for second. David Farmer, James Silvers. They come out turn number 2, down the back straightaway. Into turn number 3, it's the 8 machine. David Farmer on outside, the 17 of James Silvers to his inside. They come out turn number 4, down the straightaway. 3 wide for fourth there. Momentarily, it's a 72. Right there, look at GT Hawkins. GT Hawkins on a mission. And so is RS Centers. But right now, that 57 of Jonathan Atkins getting held up a little bit here. Atkins goes around to 97. And they will clear him down the front straightaway. But GT Hawkins and RS Centers working their way around traffic. Now RS Centers onto the outside of the 84. David Farmer side by side. Give it to RS Centers. And look at GT Hawkins following them through out of turn number 4. Down the front straightaway as Mikey Neal Jr. leads lap number 63. RS Centers to the inside of Mikey Neal. He will almost clear, but does not out of turn number 2. Down the back straightaway in turn number 3. They're side by side for the race lead. Here comes the 14 now to the inside. The 22 does clear Mikey Neal Jr. So RS Centers back to the race lead. Here comes Jonathan Atkins around Mikey Neal Jr. These 3 drivers do have fresh set of tires, and they're showing the way as they're back up front. With RS Centers leading the way. Here is on his tail tank the 14 of GT Hawkins. Hawkins with 1 win on the season. So the top 3 each have a win here with the Bluegrass Cup Series.
And they all have one, and they all want more. And all over the back bumper is GT Hawkins. That last time at the stripe, GT Hawkins had the fastest lap of the race. Our center's going to wash up high, and there goes GT Hawkins to the race lead. He will have it at the stripe, and now about a car length ahead of RS Centers. That's going to allow the 2 teammates of RS Centers and Jonathan Atkins to get lined back up. We'll take a look a little further back. That is Justin Winters up into that 6th spot. And you know, Steve, I got to say, I am surprised at how strong Mikey Neal Jr. and David Farmer have held on their 56 lap old tires compared to the rest of these guys on fresh tires. So really there's not near as much fall off as what I was expecting. You know, this track's normally very rough on tires. I feel like if you were in an Xfinity car or a truck, there would be no possible way of hanging on. You'd have fallen way back. And GT Hawkins once again the last time by set yet another race lap record with an 18.64, nearly right about a half-tenth actually faster than everybody else on the track with their fastest lap. The second looks as though it's going to be John Kinder with an 18.7. So GT Hawkins is absolutely flying right now, but there again, it's talking about it. What's that mean for his tires? How much pressure is he putting on his tires driving at a pace like that?
Well, you know, you talk about the Mikey Neal Jr. and David Farmer. They're falling back in a heartbeat. Oh, the 76 of Ron Morse Jr. goes sideways, and the 31 around, the 6 of Barrett Morton around. Caution on the race's surface.
And Ron Morse Jr. got loose. There had some contact there. He was trying very desperately to hang on to it. Yes, he got loose off of turn number 2. He's trying very desperately to save that car. And as he got it straightened out and up the track, some innocent bystanders such as Blake Hensley, the 6 of Barrett Morton, those drivers just stuck with absolutely nowhere to go and got into the slower driver of the 76. He will be ruled at fault for this caution and sent to the rear of the field. But meanwhile, up front, it is still GT Hawkins, Jonathan Atkins, RS Center, and Brandon Holder and John Kinder.
Alex Healy down pit road in that number 97 machine. Brian Terry still on the race's service, currently running a 13th. David Farmer, RS Center's back down pit road in that number 22. You got to wonder what he's doing. Maybe he's getting fueled up for the second stage there. A little bit more gas and go, mainly. But Ron Morse Jr., James Silvers, David Farmer down pit road. RS Center's back onto the racing surface in that 17th spot. So it's GT Hawkins, Jonathan Atkins, and Brandon Holder, your top 3 here at North Wilkesboro. You're watching the stars of the cars of the Bluegrass Cup Series live on Ultimate Dirt TV, simulcast live on dirtfan.com, and the Bluegrass Facebook and YouTube. The race started with a little bit of complications earlier tonight. Got it all resituated. And around about 70 minutes in, we went back to green flag racing under a race delay. RS Centers led most of the way until that previous caution where he went down pit road for a pit stop, along with GT Hawkins and Jonathan Atkins. Those 3 drivers worked their way back through the field, and GT Hawkins was actually blistering the field in that number 14 machine, as he does have the race lead with Jonathan Atkins and Brandon Holder. RS Sitters did make a pit stop under this caution. He's now in that 14th spot and in the car number 22. There's Travis, 20 to 29, currently running at 15th. David Farber at 16th. James Silvers at 17th. Ron Morse Jr. at 18th. Chuck Blake, Brian Terry, Tony Iverson, Dustin Renstittle round out the top 22. Meanwhile, lights are still on the pace vehicle with round about 4 laps to go until stage break on lap of number 80.
Yeah, just taking a quick look at the stats on the board. It looks as though RS Center went ahead and took a pit stop, knowing that we're going to have what looks like a green-white checker to the end of the stage, or a green-white checker, rather, to the end of the stage. So he took the early pit stop to refuel, get his tires, whatever he was doing there. And it looks like it was just fuel, but took the pit stop so that way he could start at the front for the second stage of the race and have a clear path heading towards the end of the race. GT Hawkins shows the outside for the restart pace car, looking to make that left-hand turn. There it goes. Bring us to the guy who restarts and green flags out. Ooh, and Jonathan Atkins spun his tires a little bit there on the inside line. He's going to try to battle back. Ooh, nearly makes contact with GT Hawkins, but John Kinder, huge run off the corner. It's at the door of GT Hawkins into turn 3.
Coming out, turn number 4, come to complete lap number 78. As we're on lap number 79, 2 laps to go here for the stage break. GT Hawkins, your race leader, John Kinder, Jonathan Atkins, Brandon Holder, and Justin Winters now in that top 5. Justin Winters battling to the inside of the 15 of Matt Grenier. Now Grenier has company from Nick Mills in that 88 machine out of turn number 4 down the straightaway. White flags are waving for the stage. Next time by will be the stage break. GT Hawkins, your race leader, John Kinder. Oh, here comes the 57 looking to the inside. He's going to push up kind of hard in turn number 3. As they come out of turn number 4, picking up the stage win, it's going to be GT Hawkins.
Not entirely sure which one got second, and it looks like Jonathan Atkins will be scored in that second position.
Are you sure, BJ, that was the stage break? There it is.
There it is. They were a little late. I believe that everybody with privileges in this caution are on the track. So
Well, there we go. They're allowing everybody to cross the start-finish line. How about that? GT
Yes.
Hawkins picking up the stage win here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. 4 cautions have plagued the race so far tonight. Jonathan Atkins bringing the field down to the pit lane. He's taking with him John Kinder. Hawkins will stay out with Brandon Holder, Nick Mills, Michael Robinson, R.S. Centers, Mike Peters, David Farmer, Ron Morris Jr., James Silvers, Tony Iverson all stay out. John Kinder, Matt Grenier, Sean Kostritza, Jonathan Atkins, Mikey Dill, Jeter, Justin Winters, Barrett Morton, Jason Bridges all down pit road.
do
18 getting his lap back. That's Dustin Renstead on at number 18. Getting a lap back there. The 88 Nick Mills now will pull into the pit road as he gets service on that vehicle. So now your top 3 is GT Hawkins, Brandon Holder, Michael Robinson. RS Centers will restart in 4th. Mike Peters with 1 to win on the season, currently running at 5th. And that number 96 machine. David Farber at 84 kind of dropped off on that last restart. Made his way back into 6th position after pit stops under the stage break. Tony Iverson currently running at 8th. There's Chuck Blake and Jonathan Atkins back on the racing surface in at number 57. Him and John Kinder are 10th and 11th. Barrett Morton, he's in 12th. Justin Winters back out in 13th. Matt Grenier in 14th. Sean Kostritza 15th. Mikey Dill in 16th. And Jason Bridges 17th. Nick Mills at 18th. As lights are still on the pace vehicle.
just looking down through here. I'm surprised to not see GT Hawkins, Brandon Holder, Michael Robinson come down Michael Robinson come down pit road. Trying to get a read on what their fuel might possibly be for this stint right here. Very interesting call being made here. Our center's looking to restart in that 4th position. GT Hawkins chooses the outside.
As they're side by side, that pace car looking to pull in. We're fixing to resume racing here on lap number 87. Green flag is out. GT Hawkins to the race lead. RS Centers now to the outside, number 9 of Brandon Holder. Give it to RS Centers as they exit turn number 2 down the back straightaway into turn number 3. It's going to be Hawkins, Centers, and Holder, your top 3. And there's a 24 Robinson getting around the 84 of David Farmer. Mike Peters right there in that 6th spot with Tony Iverson right there behind him with James Silvers looking to his inside. And there's Jonathan Atkins right there behind them with the 49 of Chuck Blake and Barrett Morton in the 6th. Atkins looks to the inside of the 72 of Tony Iverson. He will take over that spot. So he has a little bit of work to do. But right now, the GT Hawkins is pulled away from RS Centers in that 22 machine. Holder right there in the hip pocket of the 22 as they come out turn number 4 with complete lap number 89.
Yeah, RS Center stayed out during that stage break as well, but he pitted the caution just prior, which was on lap 73, and was able to just that time by set his personal best lap of the race at an 18.74. So he's still got quite a bit of speed underneath that car, but GT Hawkins, not pitting since lap 56, is still running considerably faster lap times. We'll take a look at what happened here to bring out the caution. Looks like the 3 of Brandon Robertson just loose off of turn 4. Does a good job to keep it at the bottom of the track and out of everybody's way and not collect any other drivers, but definitely not the way he wanted that to go. He'll take it pit side and get some repairs done, I believe. Maybe. Yes, he did. He did, in fact, take it down pit road to get some repairs done. So Hawkins, Center, Holder, Farmer, and Robinson, your top 5. And Robinson and Hawkins and Silver is going to come down pit road here. No big surprise here with how long these guys have stayed out on those tires. And fuel, for that matter. So Center, Holder, Farmer, Atkins, Peters is now going to be your top 5. And you know, we've seen it several times, Steve. Everybody who goes to the outside on the restarts a lot. Our Center, I've not yet seen him go to the outside on a restart here in the Bluegrass iRacing series.
There's always time for the first, that's for sure.
Very true, very true.
How about Chuck Blake? He was a lap down early in the race, now in the top 10 on the lead lap in that number 49 machine. Justin Witters right now currently running a 10th in that number 7. And then you got Sean Christensen 11th, Matt Grenier, and Mikey Neal Jr., the mouth of the East from North Carolina. Here's Nick Mills in 14th. He came down pit road, made a pit stop.
Center still eagerly anticipating the lights going out. It looks like he might be choosing the outside here as Brandon Holder leans to the inside of him. David Farmer in that 3rd spot. It's going to put Jonathan Atkins to his outside. And this would be a smart team call here for our Center to choose the outside and get his teammate of Jonathan Atkins lined up behind him. That would in fact allow them to time their restart and get both these drivers out to the 1st and 2nd positions quickly over Brandon Holder.
All right, the rack to stack. We're fixing to go back to racing here. Artist centers the control cars. The pace car pulls down pit road. We're fixing to go back to green flag racing on lap number 97. 96 laps in the books. Good start there for the 22. Brandon Holder in at number 9. There's the 57 of Atkins. Looks to the outside to come out turn number 2. He pulls alongside number 9. Down the back straightaway into turn number 3.
Talk about tight quarters down that back straightaway right there. Atkins very, very tight. Just mere inches to the left and right of that car. But he's going to go way high in turns 1 and 2. And it looked like for a moment there around that corner he was going to have a run on our Center. But he had to back out of it just a little and was not able to get up to him. But he did, in fact, clear Brandon Holder and has that 2nd place secure. And he and Center are now going to start trekking and pulling on away from Brandon Holder in that 3rd spot. Both those drivers set their fastest lap of the race that last time by at the stripe. Brandon Holder sitting in 3rd is now looking to be under pressure from David Farmer in that 4th position.
There's Justin Winters currently in 7th. Mikey Neal Jr. in 8th. 9th is Barrett Morton in number 6 machine. He was in a caution early on in the race, has recovered nicely. There's GT Hawkins. He's led some laps here tonight in that number 14. As we're coming to 75 laps to go here at North Wilkesboro Speedway, you're watching the Stars and Cars of the Bluegrass Cup Series. And speaking of that, caution on the Speedway for the 49 of Chuck Blake.
Ooh, it looked like a little contact there from Kostritza to Blake. Several other cars having a little bit of contact there, and several coming to a stop against the outside wall. to avoid getting any contact with each other.
As we're on lap number 103 of 175, GT Hawkins won the stage in that number 14 machine. Came down pit road under the stage break. Now RS Centers is your race leader with Jonathan Atkins, David Farmer, your top three. John Kinder, who was a tendon for the top spot early on in the race, currently in that fourth position. Justin Winters up 11 spots in fifth. There's Mikey Neal. He's up 9 spots. Barrett Morton up 21 spots in that 7th position. GT Hawkins up 14 in that number 14 machine, currently in 8th. Nick Bills in 9th, and there's James Silvers in the top 10 in that number 33 or 17 machine. So used to seeing Silvers in a 33 machine last season because the numbers kind of stick with you. But lights hopefully will go out this time at the flag stand. Do not. We stay under caution.
Yeah, there's a little surprise. Pit road just closed, so they will be going back to. The lights will be going out this time by, and I'm interested to see. It looks as though our center's going to choose the outside and put his teammate to his inside. I was really curious to what the call was going to be here, and I think that's the smart call. Allow RS Center to get the bigger jump here on the restart and get Jonathan Atkins back up in line behind him. And kind of running it like that with each other, knowing when they're starting and being able to get that jump like that allows them to slow down the competition just a little bit to give them a little breathing room off of turn number 2 if they play this right. You see, hanging back just a little bit there, something a lot of drivers do when the leader chooses the outside because they can't quite see him quite very well. You see right about right front to left rear. It's very, very normal, and Atkins seems to really be struggling on those inside restarts. He spun his tires once again. A good start for RS Centers. He's got that lead nice and secure. Atkins will now take over second. Ooh, we had to dive under to not have contact to RS Center right there down the back straightaway.
Yeah, the first straightaway into turn number 1. Your top 5 single filed out. There's Justin Winters now under attack from the 8 of Mikey Neal Jr. Look at GT Hawkins down to the inside of Mikey Neal as they head into turn number 3. That's a battle going on for 6 and 7. Hawkins going to have him out turn number 4. Mikey Neal falls back to 7th in that number 8 machine. Silver's in 8th position. And there's Barrett Morton in 9th and Nick Mills with a top 10 right now. Shocker Stritza and Matt Grenier balanced side by side on the racing surface. And I believe, let's see, John Kinder having some problems, and he's going to save it, but slow it down as it comes out turn number 4. He'll gather it back up. Meanwhile, RS Centers continues to lead with 65 laps to go this time at the line.
And laps continuing to wind down very, very quickly. And look at them as they start to pull off from David Farmer in that 3rd spot. And you see 2 very, very different lines between the top 2. They're even teammates, but they found lines that run differently for them, that run at different paces for them, work for them, that they are comfortable with, and able to make them work and pull off from the competition. Jonathan Atkins, a much higher entry into turn number 1 than RS Center. We'll watch them down here into turn number 3, and they run right about within each other's tire tracks through turns 3 and 4. All right. Is it time for church?
As your top two are pulled away, David Farmer in that third spot, but he has company as GT Hawkins looks to the inside of him. GT Hawkins will make the pass for that third spot, as now GT Hawkins has his eyes set on that number 57 of Jonathan Atkins. Those top three drivers all have a win on the season. Oh, Hawkins got a little loose as a goose out of turn number 2 as he skated up to the outside wall. Doesn't seem to hurt him too much as he's back in it out of turn number 4 down the front straightaway. Look at the line. There's the 14. Goes to the inside of the 57. 57 trying to reel in the outside line, get it working as they head down the back straightaway to turn number 3, the top 3. Oh, Nelly. Little contact there. And they keep it going.
Some impressive heads-up driving by all 4 of those drivers right there on your screen. RS Center, a little bit of contact from behind, was able to hang on to it. Jonathan Atkins was able to hang on to it with the contact in front that got him sideways and contact behind from GT Hawkins. GT Hawkins is going to clear for that second position, and caution flag is going to wave, and just in the nick of time for GT Hawkins to have that second spot secured.
I'm not too sure what that caution was for. Maybe Jonathan Schwartz. Maybe. Yeah. It is.
Jonathan Schwartz and possibly Ron Morris Jr.
The 72 and Ron Morris Jr. all in it.
Good morning. Ron Morris Jr. was able to hang on to the car due to the second bit of contact. Schwartz looks like minimal damage to that car, but he is already a couple of laps down behind the rest of the field. So it's not going from bad to worse there. Meanwhile, up front, our leaders went down pit road, it looks like.
Yes. And yes, what Donna says, 26 people are watching, 23 now. There's only 5 likes, now 6. Make sure you hit that thumbs up there. Let's get that algorithm going. That way the broadcast is kind of showing a little bit to everyone, you know, that have more choices to see it if they know more people are tuning in.
Every comment, every like, even every dislike goes towards that algorithm and helps jumpstart the algorithm as the police are on their way. There's a fire on pit road. Emergency services coming down. Steve, did you get a new button box?
Someone's chainsawing right now.
That's what I was about to say. I didn't know that chainsaws were allowed on pit road, but whatever makes your car run faster.
Now the thing won't shut up. We gotta do something a little interesting. We're kind of running behind schedule tonight, so
Gotta keep us awake. But the lights go out on the pace car. GT Hawk's going to choose the outside. James Silvers up 23 spots. Now just quietly been lurking his way through the field through pit strategy and whatnot has allowed him to make it into that second position and now have a chance to contend for the race lead up here with GT Hawkins. Both these guys pitted on the same lap. Michael Robinson as well on the same lap. Could get quite interesting. Just about everybody behind him on fresher tires.
here we go. Back to racing here. As lap number 121 are in the books. We're on lap number 122. GT Hawkins, your race leader. Now we got a battle between Silvers and Robinson. Down the back straightaway, Robinson gets in that wall. That's going to allow the 9 of Brandon Holder there to close the gap a little bit. It's the exit turn number 4 down the front straightaway. How about Mike Peters? He's made his way up into that top 5 with Jason Bridges in 6th. And there's Jonathan Atkins. Oh, the 49 of Chuck Blake going around. Base keeps it going. We stay green. Meanwhile, GT Hawkins pulled away from James Silvers in that 17 machine. Brandon Holder in that third spot. There's Michael Robinson. How about Jonathan Atkins? He's worked his way around traffic after making that pit stop. Currently in that 7th spot. Now looking to the inside of the 34, Jason Bridges. Mikey Neal right there behind him in the 8th position. RS Centers in 9th spot. And there's Barrett Morton with the top 10 right now.
And, you know, talking about Jonathan Atkins picking up all those spots, I have to say, if there's an award for passing the most cars in a single night, I think I would have to go to Jonathan Atkins for how many times he has pitted, went back, and drove back through the field again. I'd like to see his tire situation, just how many sets of tires he has left over from how many times he's gone back from going down pit road and then back onto the track. He's got 3 pit stops, so if he's still got one, if he's taking tires every single time, he's still got one more set on pit road as he takes the fastest lap of the race. That last time by, caution flag is going to wave once again. Taking a look at Matt Grenier on screen. Looks like he's going to come down a little bit and Farmer up just a little bit because Stritza and Iverson know where to go. Iverson gets the car stopped with minimal damages. Going to back off of him and pull away here.
So you know what's going on in the pit road right now.
Well,
Maybe.
yeah, crew chiefs maybe, but it looks like both of them actually, I believe they actually both stayed out. Yeah, so the crew chiefs might be fighting. They might have a fight later on when they come down or after the race. But right now they're both still on track.
They're cutting some sheet metal off. Yes, Donna, you tried. Thank you very much for trying. 21 of y'all are watching. Go ahead, hit that thumbs up or thumbs down. Doesn't matter. Just helps the algorithm out. Helps the bluegrass get up to where they can be monetized, and that will benefit the drivers. Make sure to hit subscribe if you have not. Hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you a thing. As we're under caution on lap number 130.
And we go back green. There should be, I believe, 42 laps remaining. Still Hawkins, Silvers, Holder, Atkins, Peters, your top 5. Atkins just absolutely flying tonight. Backwards, forwards in the field. I'm a little surprised to see him taking some of the risks that he is with the bad luck that he's had back through the field, but so far tonight it's been working for him. He's managed to keep the car clean and find his way back to the front time and time again. RS Centers, after leading the majority of the race, finds himself in that 6th position, working his way back forward after his last pit stop on lap 117.
Well, we got 2 minutes until the 11 p.m. hour on the East Coast. 10 p.m. Central Time.
I'm showing 11 p.m. right now. It's late.
It's late.
Lights gone on the pace car. GT Hawkins takes the outside once again. He's going to have Jonathan Swartz lined up behind him and ready to fire. Silvers to the inside with Brandon Holder lined up behind him. Very, very, very fast cars making up the entire top 10. The entire top 10 right now. Everybody's been up towards the front inside the top 10 at some point in time throughout the night. Pace car is off. Green flag is out. Good jump for GT Hawkins down into turn number 1. He's got that lead position secure. Battle for second. Jonathan Atkins bringing RS Centers right along with him, running outside of James Silvers. Atkins is clear now, going after the race lead. Had to back off of it. They're coming off turn number 4. That allows GT Hawkins to get about another car length lead over Jonathan Atkins.
A little contact there between Silvers and the 22 RS Sinners down the back straightaway. As they head into turn number 3, it's a dead heat going into turn number 3 there. As the 17 pushes up just a tad bit out of turn number 4. Give it to RS Sinners for that 3rd spot. Atkins now going to try to work on GT Hawkins. Try to find the fastest way around as they head out of turn number 2, down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Good battle going on. Mikey Dill Jr. and Barrett Morton. They're side by side. That is for 7th and 8th on the board. And then you have the 7 of Justin Witters. He's in that 10th spot battling with Nick Mills. So they're 2 by 2 by 2. A little further back in the field as we have some good racing as well. Lap number 136, 135 laps in the books. As you see him coming out of turn number 4 down the front straightaway. Mike Peters in at number 96 machine. Having a good run tonight, up 16 spots, currently in 8th, battling with Barrett Morton. Mikey Dill Jr. has gotten around him. He's now in that 6th spot. Brandon Holder with the top 5. There's James Silvers right ahead of him. And look at this. We might have a battle for the race lead in the next couple of laps because it looks like that 57's found something. He goes to the inside of GT Hawkins. Side by side now as they come out of turn number 4. Down the front straightaway, it's going to be GT Hawkins leading lap number 138. Side by side, the 57 has to get on the binders not to make any contact. Down the back straightaway, BJ, into turn number 3.
Atkins backing out of it and giving it back to him. But, man, the speed that he had found to get right back up to the back bumper and launch is almost seemed like, and a little bobble out of GT Hawkins. That opens up the door to the outside for Jonathan Atkins, who's been finding a lot of speed around the outside, especially in turns 1 and 2. This is not the position that GT Hawkins wants Atkins to go. You see here through 1 and 2, Atkins way up to the outside. I think that's a dangerous position to allow Atkins to go, especially in turns 1 and 2.
There you go. Atkins now has to get on the binders, not getting the back of the 14 of GT Hawkins at turn number 4, but down the front straightaway, you'll see the 2 lines between the 14 and the 57. Now look at RS Sinners looking to the inside. He's going to make a pass for the 2nd spot over Jonathan Atkins. RS Sinners now to 2nd, so now the bottom's starting to come in. Now it's RS Sinners' turn to try to catch up to GT Hawkins, but you know, he might have, maybe they used the tires a little too quickly because GT Hawkins is now starting to inch away in that number 14 machine.
I wonder if all that pushing and driving that car as hard as he did caused Jonathan Atkins to lose some speed and lose some momentum and fall back to that 3rd spot right now. Battle going on for 4th between Silvers and Neil Jr. Neil Jr. is going to have to back off, fall in line down the back straightaway. Contact through the middle of the turn. No harm, no foul. That allowed Silvers to pull back off to a half car length lead, but look at the speed that Mikey Neal Jr. carries down to the corner. He's going to take a look back to the inside of him once again, and lurking behind them, you saw him right there as Brandon Holder now side by side. Mikey Neal Jr. even with him through the middle of the corner, but the momentum off of turn number 4 for Silvers absolutely crucial to keep ahead of that 8 of Mikey Neal Jr. Heavy contact, Mikey Neal Jr. hard on the binders to save that car, and he does in fact do so. Good job on Mikey Neal Jr. to not bring out a caution.
Oh, Sinners got a little loose there off turn number 4. Jonathan Atkins forces him to go wide in turns 1 and 2. Sinners back on the loud pedal down the back straightaway. His caution will wave. Oh, Mike Peters in at number 96 collects the inside retaining wall there. In that one guard. All right, the whole field will come down pit road. Nick Mills will stay out. So will Michael Robinson and David Farmer. Sean Kostritza staying out. Jonathan Schwartz, Jason Bridges, and Dustin Rinstedel.
These guys counting on an even later caution to get a fresh and possibly final set of tires onto their car and go after a late race sprint to the front and try to get a race win. That's got to be the game plan in mind for these guys to stay out on this caution while all the leaders came down. Let's talk about Jonathan Schwartz for a second. He's been down pit road 8 times, last on lap 130. He's had quite a lot of damage done to that car and quite a lot of damage repaired on that number 95 machine. Found his way back to the lead lap after being 2 or 3 laps down. Found his way back to the lead lap. Right now sits in that 5th spot for this restart by staying out on this caution.
Nick Mills, Michael Robinson, David Farmer, Sean Kostritza, and Jonathan Schwartz. Your top 5 here with the stars and cars of the Bluegrass Cup Series. As right now we're under 26 laps to go. Fix me 25 to go. As lights still stay on the pace vehicle. As the drivers head down the back straightaway.
There's a lot of good racing that we have witnessed throughout this night. Still quite a few cautions, but good green flag stints between the majority of those cautions. And battles back and forth, especially inside the top 3 and for the race lead, as well as throughout the entire field. But the different lead changes that we've seen, the amount of speed that we've seen out of a lot of these drivers here tonight has been absolutely insane at how fast some of them have gone. The lights are out. Nick Mills going to choose the outside for this restart. Brandon Robertson to his inside. David Farmer, Sean Kostritza, row number 2.
All right, here we go. The drivers are racked and stacked. Nick Mills has the field in his hands when the pace car pulls into pit road there. We're coming to green. Green flag is out. 23 laps to go as they head into turn number 1. Nick Mills will clear the 24 of Michael Robinson as they head out turn number 2. There's David Farmer battling with the 46 of Sean Kostritza for 3rd. Give it to David Farmer in the 84 machine. Here comes Kostritza battling back on the outside. He goes a little wide out turn number 4 with Jonathan Schwartz, and we got a big crash. Mikey Dill Jr. around.
Alex Healy involved, several other drivers involved. Take a look at the instant replay here. Looks like a little bit of contact with a big checkup up ahead. Not real sure what happened with Atkins. That's where the checkup started, it looked like. 3 wide, Travis Twitty in the middle, Atkins to the outside. See him charging into turn number 3. Excellent run over Travis Twitty, but so does GT Hawkins to the inside. That puts Travis Twitty in an awkward position in the middle. This is not an easy track to go 3 wide. Looks like Atkins might have come down across the nose of the 29 just a bit there. It sends him sideways up to the wall, causes the checkup behind. That's where the stack up started and caused this situation right here with Mikey Neal Jr. going around. The 6 of Barrett Morton going around. Alex Healy going around. Ooh, and a hard hit to the front of Barrett Morton.
Nick Mills continues to lead with 20 laps to go here.
And this is music to Nick Mills' ears, hearing caution flag is out, caution flag is out, caution flag is out. Every single time that this occurs for Nick Mills, that's less laps for him to have to fight and hold off drivers behind. He can almost just relax a little bit, not have to think too much, not have to work too much. It's basically 3 laps for him to lead every single time that there's a caution. Nick Mills again chooses the outside for the restart. Lights should be going out this time by, I do believe. So it'll be Nick Mills, Michael Robinson, row 1. Row 2 is still going to be David Farmer, Sean Kostritza. Row 3, Jonathan Swartz and Jason Bridges.
Alrighty. We're racked and stacked. Fixing to give it their shot here. Ace car is in. We're back to racing. Nick Mills on the loud pedal down the front straightaway. He'll clear Michael Robinson into turn number 1. There's the 24, Michael Robinson. David Farmer in third. Oh, that 34, he got a little loose on the back straightaway. 3 wide there. Oh, the 34 up against the outside wall. Farmer,
Ooh.
we got chaos all throughout the racing surface. Oh, my.
Oh, no. Hackins pinched into the wall. I don't know exactly who that was in the wall. Matt Grenier's around in the aftermath of this. The 18, that is Dustin Ryan still involved in this. 17 of James Silver's involved. Looks like the 5 of Kinder might have got some contact from it. A lot of the fast guys that have been up in the front throughout the entire night getting quite a bit of contact from this one here. The 84 just loses it. Slides down to the inside. Everybody ducking and diving to get out of the way from this. But look at the checkup. You can just see it, accordion effect right down into the corner. Just contact one after another. Contact between, it looked like RS Center and David Farmer, while David Farmer was still recovering the car there. Caused David Farmer to start to go around. There you see Brian Terry sliding in. Slides right into the front of David Farmer there. And once again, Nick Mills taking a breath, a sigh of relief, able to relax just a little bit here with 14 laps remaining in this race. This is exactly what Nick Mills wants to see.
Definitely. Nick Mills, Michael Robinson, Jonathan Swartz, GT Hawkins, Jason Bridges, your top 5. As we have 13 laps to go right now. Jonathan Atkins, who is having a good run now in pit road in 23rd spot.
He's 3 laps down right now, and you have to think Jonathan Atkins cannot be happy about this. It almost seems as though he's got a bit of a monkey on his back when he starts up towards the front. He seems to struggle more. He starts up to the front, he goes down pit road or falls to the back for whatever reason, and a bad luck goes his way. When he got his race win, he started further back in the field and drove his way to the front and got the race win. So it's almost like for Jonathan Atkins, starting up front is that's a bit of a curse for the driver, that number 57.
Definitely. Lights go out. We'll go back to green flag racing with 10 laps to go. Tonight, post-race interviews will be really quick due to time restraints, as we're running past a little late tonight. So there'll be quick post-race interviews going on with their top 3 after the race. Pace car is in. We're fixing to go back to green flag. Racing out, turn number 4. Nick Mills on the loud pedal. We're back to green. Michael Robinson on outside. Here we are, 2 by 2. We got RS Centers going around. Jason Bridges 31 back or 34 backwards. So is RS Centers.
Cautions breed cautions, continuing to reign true as we're now at 10 laps to go. Take a look at the instant replay. Looked like 34 Jason Bridges had to back off there. RS Center just kind of trapped with nowhere to go. Gets contact, goes around. Our top 5 sits Mills, Robinson, Swartz, Hawkins, Kostritza, and Mills continuing just to sit here and almost, you almost got to think he's got to be sitting here singing praises. You know, it's paving the way for him to get a race win at this point. All he's got to do is control these restarts and then hold everybody off. And though he's looking for 2 laps at the end of the race, just gonna say, Steve, the way it's looking, we're gonna end up with a green-white checker the way the cautions are breeding cautions right now.
Well, I'm trying to save my throat. Farmer gonna get a lap back. So we got 7 laps to go right now. Nick Mills, Robinson, Swartz, Hawkins, Kostritza, your top 5. You got Brandon Holder, Iverson, Blake, Deal, Ed Morton round out your top 10. Then it's Alex Healy, Brian Terry, Justin Witters the 13th, Travis Twitty, and Matt Grenier rounds out your top 15. Then 16th, James Silvers, Mike Peters, Dustin Renstittle. RS Centers the 19th, and 20th is David Farmer. As lights continue staying on the pace vehicle, they should go out next time with 5 laps to go. We'll go back to green flag racing with 4 laps to go. Be a 4-lap dash. And GT Hawkins, he's been fast all night. Can he get it done in that number 14 machine? Trying to go for a second win on the season.
He does have the freshest tires inside the top 5. Holder and Iverson sitting 6th and 7th, pitted along with him on lap 148. Barrett Morton sitting back in that 10th spot. Has possibly the freshest tires. Oh, I take that back. He did not take tires on his pit stop on lap 154 for the driver of that number 6.
All right, as we're racked and stacked, fixing to go back to green flag racing. Pace car is in. Nick Mills on the loud pedal. We're back to racing here. Side by side, out turn number 2. Give it to Michael Robinson as they head into turn number 3. He clears Nick Mills. GT Hawkins goes a little wide there. He gets loose. GT Hawkins. Whoop. He's going to lose the ground, and he saves it.
What an incredible save for GT Hawkins. Still 3 wide down the back straightaway. Hawkins grinding that wall to stay safe from cars to his inside. He does clear it back to 2 wide, but 3 wide once again off of the turn. More contact, but everybody stayed safe. Sean Kostritza pulling out of pit road in that number 46. He is now a lap down. World of Thunder esports drivers not having the night that they were looking for here tonight, but white flag is in the air. Just 1 more lap to go for the 24 of Michael Robinson.
Michael Robinson lead the way out on turn number 2 down the back straightaway. There's Nick Mills and Jonathan Swartz, your top 3. RS Centers has crashed, but out of turn number 4, picking up the win, it's going to be Michael Robinson in that 24 machine. Nick Mills bringing it home in 2nd. Third will be Jonathan Swartz, Brandon Holder, and Mikey Neal Jr. rounding out your top 5 as RS Sinners will sit in the middle of turn number 1. Give it up for Michael Robinson in that 24 machine, picking up the win here tonight. As we take a look at your race results, Michael Robinson picking up the win with the Empire Motorsports. Nick Mills the second, Jonathan Swartz the third. Fourth being Brandon Holder, Mikey Neal Jr. in fifth, Tony Iverson the sixth, Barrett Morton in seventh, Travis Twitty in eighth, James Silvers in ninth, and 10th will be Mike Peters. David Farmer round out 11th with Alex Healy in 12th, 13th be Brian Terry, 14th Dustin Rinstedel, 15th will be GT Hawkins after having a good night. Comes down to the final 2 laps. John Kinder will come home in 16th, Justin Witters in 17th, and RS Sinners in 18th.
Coming home in 19th, Sean Kostritza. 20th will be Jason Bridges. Then it's going to be Matt Grenier, Chuck Blake Cup. 22nd is going to be Chuck Blake, Jonathan Atkins, Blake Kensley, Ron Morris Jr. 25th, Brandon Robertson, Scott Fritz, and Keith Hackney rounding out your 28 starters.
I thought the mic was muted.
I noticed.
Oh, lordy. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll come back with quick post-race interviews. All right, welcome back to Ultimate Dirt TV. As we get ready for post-race interviews. All right, we have your race winner, Michael Robinson. Congratulations on the win, sir.
Thank you very much. Oh, man. I just don't know what to say. My first ever start here in the Cup, and it was a lot of chaos at the end. I always mind myself just timing those restarts with the 88, and I knew the 14 was behind me. He had fresh tires, so just every time we had those restarts, just got to nail them in. But wow, I just don't know what to say right now.
Well, definitely. I mean, you kept the car clean all night. It was chaos around you. But, at the end, it prevailed. You got around Nick Mills for that win. And I don't know where you're sitting in points, but if you're sitting high enough in points, you definitely will be locked into the playoffs.
I'm not locked in the Cups, just for Xfinity. So this is like my first debut here.
Oh.
But yeah, this is amazing. Getting my first win here at North Wilkesboro. This is my favorite tracks really on iRacing. I just really love it. So it was kind of almost like a little redemption from yesterday, but just happy to know how everything pans off. And then, yeah, just that's it. I just don't know. I'm just kind of shaking a little bit.
Well, go ahead and thank those fine sponsors making it all possible for you, sir.
I just gotta give a big shout out to my friends Jeremiah, Justin, and also Alex Healy, because he been picking me for the Xfinity series. So this is kind of like I said, redemption from yesterday. So Alex Healy, you listen, this one's for you, man.
All right, that is Michael Robinson picking up the win from Riverside, California.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome, sir. Congratulations. All right, so BJ is caught up with your second place finisher, Nick. Well, yeah, there you go.
I should have caught up with the driver of the 88, Nick Mills. Man, Nick, what a great run you had throughout the night. Found your way up to the front late in the race. it was starting to look like you were going to be a shoo-in for the win the way the cautions were playing out. Was that something you were happy to see, or something that you wish would have stayed at the wayside?
The cautions helped me. I was on quite a bit older tires. You know, teammates were telling me to take the outside, and I didn't like the way I got a restart on the outside those first two times, and had a successful restart on the bottom the time before that. So took my chances on the bottom, and it bit me. Kind of gave it away, I feel like. But any sort of 10-lap run, my tires were faded too bad. They would have got me.
We're gonna run our interviews quickly here, so go ahead and give us your final thoughts on this race for yourself, and
That was fine for me.
Go ahead and thank your sponsors.
Fine for me. I had a 0x until we crossed the finish line, so I had a little side bet with David Farmer about incident points and who completed the most laps. So it looks like I finished with 4x, and he finished with 16. I think he hit everything but his line tonight, so all in good fun. But shout out to Cornerstone Weaponized, my insurance agency, Mills Insurance. So millsinsky.com if you need anything.
Congratulations again on your second place finish.
Thank you.
And I believe Steve's gone up with a third place finisher.
All right, Mr. Swartz coming in second in the points tonight, coming into North Wilkesboro, and come home with a third place finish. Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, I'd want to be happy. This is a good result, and I literally never thought I had a chance. I feel like I broke a record saying this, but looking at this race, lap 7, I'm rewatching the replay now, and there was that incident with Keith. I thought qualifying up high would be important, would be useful, and man, it was really hard to pass here. And then he got loose at it too, and overcorrected, and it's just, I don't know why you're driving that hard on restarts. Destroyed our car, gave us 6 minutes of optional, and literally we spent the whole race trying to repair the car. It never really had good handling, and I didn't think we'd really be able to recover. We got put 2 laps down, were a bit aggressive on restarts, and really could never get the wave around, even at the stage. And then during that second stage, just when things started becoming more of a mess, we somehow got those wave arounds. One of the last cautions, we stayed out, got that track position, and I thought, man, okay, well, even if we get these last 20 laps green, how far back will we fall? I might still end up getting an advantage. Even if I get a top 10, I'll be happy. And out of nowhere, we got third. So, wow, I mean, it's as much of a surprise, but I mean, I'd rather get 10th in a race that's somewhat respectable than third than what we had. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely bittersweet, but I'm happy to be here. So,
definitely go ahead and thank those fine sponsors making it all possible for you tonight.
Yeah, first of all, I gotta give a shout out to our new sponsor. It's not on the car yet, but it's Simrace City. Make sure to check out their products at simracecity.com. Also, racing still with a high pre, as well as iRacing on the car, and of course, you guys for putting out a broadcast, figuring out how to commentate on what what joke of a show that was. But yeah, whatever you managed to do, definitely really impressive. So hopefully, I think Charlotte is next week, and hopefully less confined corners, so we can get some more exciting racing. But yeah, definitely gotta give a shout out primarily to Simrace City, but also you guys. So thanks.
All right, that is Jonathan Swartz coming home in third place tonight. Well, BJ, that's going to conclude our broadcast here tonight on Ultimate Dirt TV. We'll be back next Monday night with the Truck Series, same time. Until then, good night and God bless.